Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first battle report that I'm going to be putting together. A little bit of background on this. I've decided to start filming some of our matches, commenting over them, and publishing them on the interwebs for you all to enjoy. I think this is a really good way to look back at the games you've played, have the benefit of hindsight, and start discussing some of the decisions you've made. So I'm hoping this will benefit me as a player, and maybe for some of you, benefit you as players as well, as you can see some of the strategic decisions that we've made, and of course, all the many mistakes that we've made. So I'm playing my regular opponent and local pundit, Mike. Mike is playing Brewers. Mike has played Brewers for a long time, pretty much since the start of his Guild Ball lifetime. I've recently picked up Union and vRage, so I'm going to be running my vRage team. So Mike is running Esters, Spigot, Decimate, Friday, Lucky, and Quaff. And I'm going to be running vRage, Gutter, Coin, Benediction, Decimate, and Original Harry. I wanted to try out Original Harry here as a way of dealing with Vet Decimate. So I want to see, particularly as I'm receiving here, see what benefit I can get from the Momentous Hat Aura and Momentous Hat? Inspiring Hat. And see if I can use Go to try and control the pitch a little. So into the start of the match. I assign 3 to Gutter, 2 to vRage, none to Coin, 3 to Benny, 4 to Harry, and 2 to Decimate. So Coin goes and puts Bag of Coffers on Harry. Quaff jogs up and buffs Decimate with Second Wind and Bag of Coffers. Then Decimate puts Second Wind also on Harry and jogs up. Now Decimate decides to stay just outside of range of Decimate's 10. Harry goes in and throws a Molotov at Quaff and Vet Decimate, and then uses Bag of Coffers to bonus time a Goad and a Second Wind to get away. This is exactly what I wanted to do with Decimate behind an obstacle, to try and control her at least on the first turn and stop her getting that good alpha strike. We move around a little bit, just move some guys around, just kind of playing a bit cagey with each other. I don't think vRage has a very good first turn engage and little in the way of ranged attacks, so trying to get a good engage for turn 2 is important. Here I make a bit of a mistake by bunching up Benny, Harry, and Coin together, letting Esters come and blast Earth them, fire blast them, whatever it is she does. One of the other things I like Harry about against Esters here is triggering Rising Anger, so having some momentum to deal with those attacks if she does get hit. So it might not have been the end of the world, but getting all 3 of those guys on fire and taking some damage was not ideal. So I then figure out if Gutter can get an engage. I think about this for a while. Gutter makes a pass to Rage, decides not to take the 4-inch dodge as she's outside the Inspiring Hat Aura, and she jogs around onto the fast ground. I'm conscious that I tend to overextend with Gutter on the first turn because she's very good at getting a good engage, but then if Rage can't engage at the top of turn 2, it means she's in a bad position and usually gets destroyed. So I'm trying to play a little bit more cautious with her. I then make a pass to Benediction with vRage and take the Inspiring Hat Aura and decide to go in and charge Friday to try and generate some momentum here, perhaps win the next turn. A little bit tough to hit her being 5-1 in cover because of Spigot's Aura, but vRage does a couple of attacks, gets a little bit of damage in on her, and sets up quite nicely for Gutter to come in afterwards on the next turn. Perhaps overextended with vRage here. So you might realise that with the Go, Decimate couldn't move anywhere towards Harry. We fiddle around for a bit, and I suggest that actually if he uses the acrobatics, he might be able to get in on Harry after all. We figure it out and decide that, yes, actually, Vet Decimate is mobile enough that she can get in. So she takes the acrobatics. I think he decides not to go in the end. So he decides not to go in on Harry here, and basically gives me an opportunity to win the start of the next turn. So I play, I believe it's Keep Your Chin Up, where I can use Come On Mate for free. This is going to be quite useful with all these conditions out there. I believe Mike plays Grudge Match, so we put Singled Out on. Mike put singled out on Harry, and I put singled out on Friday, hoping to really come in on Friday here. Now, I don't really want to go with vRage straight away without any setup, especially with Friday in cover. The chance to do like a little bit of damage and not much else is not ideal, especially if I can't get the push out and then get the free charge. So my plan here is to use Benny, and you saw I was measuring it, to make a pass out to Harry, take the 4-inch dodge, and then walk in and start to push Friday out of cover. I started to see if Benny could actually pass the gutter and get her the ball, but the range isn't there. So in the end, I just make sure that Benny can make the pass and the dodge, walk over to Friday, and then go into an attack. Oh, so Benny actually passes to vRage here to keep the ball over there. I think I did this because Friday had no influence. I would have preferred to pass the gutter if the range was there, but then Benny would have only been able to get one attack in on Friday with the charge. So Benny goes in. Unfortunately, I roll pretty horribly after this. So I do push her out of cover at least, not quite out of range of Spigot, so she's still a 5-1 there. So Mike thinks about what to do for a little while here. He has to think about whether he wants to just go in on Harry straight away. And he does. So with that singled out, Vet Decimate's really going to put the hurt on. He hits the non-momentous 1 on a push and the knockdown stagger. So Harry is now below 2 defense. He has no armor from anatomical and he's singled out. So he's going to die in pretty short form. Luckily, Mike doesn't roll great here. And without any strength or tooled up, Decimate doesn't do too much damage, but definitely puts Harry in a bad way. So I have a choice here trying to decide what to do. I have 1 influence on Harry, and I think about whether to use my momentum to stand him up, push Vet Decimate out the way, which I think Harry is fairly likely to do, and then just jog away to prevent him getting beaten up anymore. He's knocked down, staggered, with a fair bit of damage on him, and singled out. In the end, I decided to go in with Rage, because I want to make sure that he's not just going to lose that ball to Spigot and the ball's gone. The plan is to push Friday out of the way, out of Spigot's defense aura, and then get a free charge on her. Unfortunately, after this first attack, even with his legendary, I'm not able to get any more pushes. I go for a final attack with Benediction, also managed to fluff that. So I just walk around with Vet Rage, staying engaged with Friday, and just get that a little bit further away from Spigot. Lucky comes in to do a little bit more damage to Harry. Lucky was assigned, I believe, 2 influence, so he gets an extra 1 from not having initiative. And Lucky does some real work taking out Harry. So it's now 2-0 to Brewers. I want to go in with Gutter here and try and start dragging some enemy models in, potentially setting up the chain grab. Particularly, or just setting up the sliding blow, particularly as I have the benefit of the aura. Friday being 5-1 or 5-0 to Gutter is still a little bit rough. Unfortunately, wasn't able to push her out with Vet Rage. I have a think about bringing in Spigot or Lucky. Decide to bring in Lucky with the chain grab. Then bring in Spigot. Make another attack. And hit the sliding blow. Taking out Friday, doing 3 damage to Lucky, 3 damage to Spigot. I think, looking at that, those dice, she must have been knocked down. So it's now 2-2. I'm pretty much out of models at this point, so Spigot has a chance to do some work, as does Esters. Esther decides to go in on Benediction and just make some attacks. I decide not to use Benediction's free counter. Initially, I choose to use it and then decide against it, thinking, proccing Glut Mass, I actually have no one else that can do anything to her, but Benediction might want to save it against Spigot. Esther manages to get the knockdown on Benediction and start doing a little bit of damage. Now I really need to get Benediction up here, or Spigot is going to do some work on him. I have a think about what I can do with the snake, and whether I can get in and get a momentous result on Lucky, because there's nothing that the snake can really do against Decimate. I give coin bag of coffers, roll a 3 dice. If I get all 3 hits, I can get a momentous hamstring, at least generate some more momentum. I also elect not to clear conditions on the snake. And Spigot goes and finishes Benediction, doing lots of lovely wraps and lots of damage. So once Benediction's knocked down, if you've got anyone that can wrap, he's not tough hide or anything, so he can survive chip damage, but a sustained attack against Benediction can definitely take him down with 19 boxes, and he's 2-2 knockdown, so you can really chew through him if you get some attacks. Mike is on 10 momentum, I'm on 7, so we have a bit of a decision about what cards to play here. Mike can fairly handily win the turn just by playing a 5 or above. So I play the 7. I have the seize initiative, allowing me to do a 4-inch dodge, and Mike also goes for a 7, meaning we roll. I win the roll off and get to go first. So I use that dodge to get rage out of cover. My initial plan with this was actually to try and dodge out to allow Mike to win the initiative, thinking that he would guarantee it, and then he would make his dodge first, and I would be able to respond to that. So actually taking that dodge second is not so bad. In the end, because I won it, I'm actually in an even better position here to be able to get rage out of range, be able to go at the top of turn 3, start going in on some of his models with Gutter there to assist me. So I bring on Harry and Benny on that side as well. I think bringing them on anywhere else, there's a risk that they just don't do very much. My opponent brings on Friday just at the top of the pitch there. She's going to get 1 influence as well, so Decimate and Original Decimate and Friday both on 1 influence up the top there, so kind of out of the game. I gave Decimate 1, so if she needs to sprint round and get into goal range for next turn, she'd be able to get some movement on her. So I give 4 to Gutter, 4 to Rage, a pretty standard assignment, a couple to Harry, and 1 to Benny. I want Harry here to have some flexibility about whether he can use his goad if needed later on. So Rage goes in. I actually charge Spigot here, hoping to get some momentum for Bloody Coin, potentially push him out of range a little bit, and I can make some attacks on Esters if I need to. So I get the momentum, put a Bloody Coin on Gutter, and start buying some attacks with Gutter. We have a little think about whether Scything Blow would affect Esters or not. As it happens, Gutter didn't hit it too often here, so it wasn't such an issue. But with a knockdown Spigot, I think Rage must have wrapped there to get a knockdown and generate some momentum. And then I keep buying some attacks with Gutter, hoping to do some damage on Lucky and Esters as well at the same time. So Mike activates Lucky, knowing that Lucky's probably going to die to Gutter next turn if nothing happens. Manages to get the knockdown on Gutter. This is quite good for me because it means I can clear the knockdown and the poison with the same momentum. I don't end up clearing the poison last turn. I have to think about how I'm going to do this. And really I'm hoping to get the Scything Blows to kill Esters. Actually, I decide not to, sorry, Scything Blows kill Lucky. So I decide not to give up my movement, thinking I'm not going to be going anywhere anyway. Buy an attack on Esters to trigger Glut Mass, and then buying some more, hoping for some Scything Blows to finish off Lucky. I think Lucky was on 9 health at this point, so I would need to hit all 3 Scything Blows to get it. After hitting 1 Scything Blow, I bonus time the next attack, and fluff the roll horrendously. So from this point, if my memory serves correct, I think the game starts to slow down a little bit as we really get into how either of us is going to win this game. Mike decides to go in with Vet Decimate, again with no setup, takes a passing blow from the snake, but Coin can't do anything with her tough hide. And then Vet Decimate comes in to try and put the hurt on Gutter. I think it was important to go with Gutter before Decimate got that chance to activate as well. Just there is a possibility, especially with gang ups, that she just finishes her with without too much setup. So the tokens you see there, that's the knockdown and the stagger, and then let Decimate a little bit more damage to Gutter. So I still have Benediction fairly safe with the ball there and no one that can really threaten it. I decide to go up with Harry to go and engage Esters, provide a crowd out, and also push her just out of the way. So she can't really go and reliably engage Gutter. And bonus time the goad, so that she can't go and finish off Gutter there, being staggered and on about half of her health. This gives Mike a little bit of time to scratch his head and have a good think about how he's going to deal with this. Unfortunately, I think Esters is still in range of vRage, so she's not completely shut down here, but at least used Goad there to get rid of the kill on Gutter, force him to waste some of his time and effort a little bit. Pretty low on momentum here and not much chance of getting any more, so I know he's going to have back-to-back activations here. I think he can generate quite a bit more. He decides to attack Rage. Oh, no, apparently he doesn't. He decides to throw down Blast Earth and the Firebomb. So he bonus times the first one, making sure that he's going to hit Gutter and finish her off. I think she was on about 2 health or 4 health here. We talked it through a little bit because he'd been down to 1 dice, crowded out, and we decided the order that he wanted to go was to try and kill Gutter, to make an attack against Rage, to generate some more momentum, and then throw the last bomb with the others if need be. He does hit Vet Rage, which triggers Rising Anger, meaning I have 2 momentum and he has 3. So for my last action, I want to try and generate 1 more, at least put us even on momentum. Based on my game plan cards, I actually have some fairly high ones. Most of them were around 4 or 5, and I had both the 7s. Seeing that Mike had played the 6 card already, or one of the 6 cards, the singled out one, to win one of the earlier turns, I feel pretty confident that on even or close to even momentum, that I can pull out that last Lone Striker game plan card if I need it. I start having a think about where I want to get Benny here. I think about possibly getting him up and passing the ball to Harry and using Inspiring Hat to make some movement again. I have a free activation here, so I go with Coin and see if I can get lucky and get a hit on Lucky. I think Snake does about 1 damage to Lucky. I go out with Benny, bonus time the pass to Harry, expecting to make that dodge, and unfortunately miss the 3 dice pass. Luckily it doesn't scatter very far, so Harry still has the ball, but it messes up my plan a little bit. So we're both on 2 momentum here. And I decide to go ahead and play Lone Striker to make sure that I can win the 10. I assign 4 to Harry here, knowing that Spigot's going to come back on and probably come and try and get that ball off me. My plan at this point, because there's no one really on that side of the pitch, my plan with giving 4 to Harry is to push Esters out of the way. So the first one will trigger Glut Mass. The second one, I'm hoping for the double push. I will then goad her with a bonus time and try and jog behind that box so that Esters can't really do very much with it. Then kick it as far as I can into space on the other side of the board. Decimate has 3 influence over there, and I'm hoping she can just sprint over and get it and get the goal in if I have any momentum. Mike thinks for a while about where to bring Spigot back on. At first, he brings him back on somewhere where Harry could just charge him and potentially just push him straight off the pitch again, which might have been an option. I may have considered that if I had the range, but Mike figures this out and decides to stay out of range so Spigot can't get easily pushed out by Harry. So he assigns 1 to Spigot, another full stack to Esters, full stack to Decimate, of course. Now I fluff the first attack here with Harry, meaning I can't carry on with my original plan of kicking the ball away. I still decided to carry on with the original plan of pushing her and goading her. I did have a think about whether I should continue with the original plan or reassess, and I decided that goading Esters here was still a reasonable play. I saw Spigot with 1 dice and thought that he would struggle to do anything to Harry. with the one dice to to get in range and to attack him. What I didn't pay attention to was Mike had played fullback. For those of you listening at home, I believe it's fullback or whichever wing back is. Whatever it is, I thought he played the one that gives him shadow-like, and he played the one that lets him charge for only one influence. So this was a bit of a mistake here, allowing Spigot to probably get a balls gone on Harry, potentially giving up a goal. So a quick reminder, it is 4-4 to Union at the moment. No, not 4-4 to Union. 4-4 each. Let's say 4-4 to Union. That sounds better, doesn't it? So one of the things we decided was to play without a clock, just to get used to the pressure of playing on camera as well. We generally play all our casual games with a clock. I think it promotes good play and it's good practice for tournaments, and games can really stagnate and become quite draining if you don't play with the clock. As the game goes on, the game does go on to turn 5, and we do slow down quite a bit. So this game was actually a fairly long one. Next ones we'll definitely be playing on clock and hopefully be finishing games in time. So Decimate goes in, gets a knockdown on vRage and starts to push him towards Esters, hoping that Esters can do some damage even though she's goaded. I'm actually quite happy that Decimate went here to set up because it means I can go with vRage, quick time himself out of there. I'm then looking for a knockdown on Vet Decimate, which he gets, is then able to charge Lucky, having bloody coined himself, and hopefully do some damage with the snake there, maybe finish him off. Not an amazing roll there, but we'll do a little bit of damage to Lucky. Not the best use of bloody coin there either, but I had no other great targets that were going to be full of influence after Gutter had been taken out. Should have mentioned that I brought Gutter back in on the top of the pitch there to keep her safe and to perhaps threaten Friday, maybe finish her off as well. So Lucky goes and makes some attacks on vRage. What I'm measuring up here is making sure that Gutter can get into Friday, but also be in range to heal Rage. Rage is on quite low health at this point, so I want to make sure she's able to come on mate, having generated some momentum here. I think Rage was down to 2 health or possibly 4, so I wanted to make sure that he wouldn't die to Esters, chucking out her blasts and rough ground. This is something I see Mike do a lot. He loads up Esters pretty much every turn and either goes for 5 attacks on someone and seems to reasonably reliably with strength take them out, or he's happy to just sit back and bomb. If you have any other ways of playing Esters, please do let us know what you think of this particular strategy. So Spigot goes in, he hits the balls gone on Harry and makes a pass to Esters, dodging her up. Now, I don't see this coming at this point, but what Mike is going to try and do here is set up for a next turn goal with Friday. I bring in Decimate to engage Friday and do a little bit of damage, knowing how reliable Decimate can do some damage. Friday has healed after coming back on, but it leaves on about 5 or 6 health or so. So another good old think, deciding what to do here with Friday. Mike takes a Shadow-like to get out of Decimate's range at least, and is deciding where to put her. He puts her in range, still within Gutter's melee, to make sure that she doesn't take a parting blow and potentially get knocked down. And he puts up I shoot better after a beer, so that she has an extra kick, obviously going for that Esther snapshot. We talked about this afterwards and realised if he'd put I shoot better after a beer and just jogged out of her range, Friday's probably not going to get knocked down by Gutter, and this gives him a safer option. In the end, he has to take, after being engaged by Benediction and being engaged by Gutter, he has to take a 2 dice pass, needing a 5. He gets the pass, but unfortunately then Friday misses the shot. So 3 dice shot there, -1 for Gutter, +1 for being shooting Gutter after a beer. The score is still 4-4. And with her remaining influence, Esther decides to chuck a bomb at the snake and Rage. Having spent the momentum to bonus time those passes as well, it means that he's no longer able to stand up Vet Decimate. Or I believe he was counting on the momentum for a goal. So Vet Decimate is still stuck down there. So we go to the next turn. I think we were both on 0 momentum. I think I was on 1 momentum there. And I think I'm able to win the turn, I believe. So I'm trying to decide what to do here, whether I need to try and deal with Esters and Decimate. Of course, I load up 4 on Rage and 4 on Gutter. I give Decimate 2 as a way of being an outlet if we're meant to recover that ball. So vRage goes in and starts to attack Lucky with a couple of gang ups. I put up Bloody Coin on himself. Reason for this is because I think he needed 2 more attacks to kill Lucky. Then if he charges out and buys an attack with Gutter on Friday, I think the Bloody Coin works better on Rage here for the charge attack as well. So it actually takes most of my attacks to kill Lucky. So it's now 6-4 to Union. I want to make sure I'm in range of Benny as well, so that I have the Red Fury. If I manage to kill Friday here on the charge, which I do, it means I can then buy Red Fury with Benediction and just eat that Gluttonous Mouse off Esters. Really good to do that with the 2-inch melee model if I can. Did do a little bit of damage to Esters earlier, and she will go down if you can chew through her health, especially with Bloody Coin. But you just need to have that really focused effort if you're going to. You can't just chip away at her. This is where we have a good amount of thinking to go. Mike's going to throw down the Fire Blast here, not hitting anyone, but just using it as a way of blocking my path. Whilst he's doing this, I have a think about whether I can get Gutter in to chain grab Esters into the fire, perhaps the dog, but I really don't want to start hitting them until Decimate has gone. Giving that +1 attack from Love Creature will be a little bit too painful. And he throws the rough ground and does a little bit of damage to both Gutter and Decimate there. Having Gutter go after Esters is quite nice as well to start healing that chip damage that she does. Mike moves Esters away and puts up agility on her, so sings a song to increase her defense, making her a less viable target still. Benediction's still in range of Decimate and Esters, so I start having a think about what I can do here. I should correct that earlier point. Actually, I realise now what I did was, instead of proccing the Glut Mass, decided to go for the attack on Decimate, who was knocked down, to put Braced up for Benediction, making him a much less attractive target. So that's Braced you see there. Glut Mass is still to go. I have time here to do some things. Spigot's not a huge threat at the moment. I'm not too worried about Decimate either. So I go with Coin and take a chance to give Benny an extra influence and do Bag of Coffers. Decimate goes, pushes Benny out of the way and decides to go in on Harry. So I wasn't quite expecting this. Decimate gets the knockdown. Decimate really hard to keep under control there, of course. Decimate gets the knockdown. Then hits the stagger, decided to take the stagger to set up for Spigot. This pretty much means I have to go with Harry. I don't want him stood up. At this point, we just want to make sure that Decimate can push him out of cover, but still in range of both of them. I just stand up with Harry and heal 4, making it a little bit more difficult for Spigot to do his work. Mike thinks about jogging Quaff over, decides instead to just go with Spigot on Harry, thinking that none of these activations are really important. Quaff wasn't in Gutter's range, so I think I would have moved Quaff out, giving Gutter less good targets here because there was no need to go in on Harry straight away. But I don't think it's a huge misplay at this point. Trying to get in, generate some momentum, put the hurt on Harry, get some more points on the board. So Spigot does what Spigot does best, which is stomping his boot into people's faces when they're lying down. And the score is now, I believe, 6-6. No, the score is now 8-6 to Union. So we've had Spigot taken out, Friday taken out twice, and Lucky taken out. And I have had Benny and Harry taken out twice. Oh, and Gutter. So it's 8-8. So everything to play for now. We're looking for either a goal or the last 2 takeouts. I don't have too many good takeout targets left here on the board at this point. So I jog with Benny, sorry, sprint with Decimate, gliding to see if I can get the ball. Make a kick to Gutter, who makes a 4-inch dodge. I'm thinking about bringing Gutter around and attacking Esters to generate some momentum to go first next turn. And then Mike very helpfully points out that I just sprint and take the shot on goal. take the 3 dice tap in and win the game. So thanks for watching. Please do give any feedback you have in comments, emails, threatening letters. Just get your feedback to me. Let me know what you liked about the battle report, what you didn't like, what new memes or animations we need in here, and hopefully I'll have another one for you soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.